One of the most chilled out processes of getting out of Brazil and into Paraguay, if you know what you're doing. To get out, you have to go to the airport, which is about 4 or 5 blocks that way. To get in, you come to this pretty rundown building, for which I was the only person apart from the chap who stamped my passport. I've only just arrived in Paraguay and it's amazing! Look at this! Absolutely amazing national park I'm about to enter into Paraguay, and it was raining and there was lightning and thunder and I got very dirty, but the reward of being in Paraguay is there. It is without a doubt the most beautiful scenery I've seen on this trip so far, with these beautiful mountains popping up in the distance, and actually the thunder and the odd bolt of lightning coming down just adds to the atmosphere. Oh, magical, magical, magical. Look at this. How amazing. Oh, I am completely blown away by Paraguay so far. It is insanely pretty. There are these beautiful rocks that are in the distance to the back to my right, which just stick up and just begs to go and hike it and climb them, but I'm kind of on a mission west. So who are just down there said I could stay here tonight, but this chap here says I can't camp here tonight, so I'm just gonna have to crack on down the road and see if I can find somewhere else to camp. I've made my way to the weighing station for lorries, which is right here, and there's a very friendly chap called Edgar who works here, and he says that I can camp everywhere I want. So it's been a good day, been an exciting day. It's been a day definitely of two halves. Two halves being the first half of the day was off-road, the second half of the day was on tarmac. The first half of the day was in Brazil, the second half of the day was in Paraguay. Lots has happened. It's filled me with lots of positive, good feelings. I am so happy to be in Paraguay because it is such a beautiful country. The difference is staggering. The kind of large-scale agriculture of Brazil has gone, and there's a much more low-key livestock kind of agriculture going on here. And I don't know if that's going to change. Maybe I'm just in a small region in the northwest northeast of the country, which is like this, but I'm hoping that it's going to stay like this the whole way to Bolivia, because that would just make my day. This is me just setting up, getting all my packing done, and then any sort of glamour. This is my breakfast. This is out-of-date coffee, which I'm getting through, and 1 bag of porridge, and that is my food supplies to power me on. That's my friend Edgar, who let me camp here tonight, where his rubbish bin was, and he very proudly walked out, pointed into these bushes and went, there, which is very sad. How beautiful. See Cerro Membe, which is absolutely beautiful. A climber's dream, basically vertical cliffs up onto a flat plateau. It's been my kind of focal point this morning. Just been staring at it longingly. It's like a natural monument, and it's what this whole valley is like. There's basically just lots of these rocks sticking up in different various places around the pretty much flat scenery, though the roads do undulate. But absolutely beautiful. Middle of a place called Yabiao. I think that's how you say it. I'm not entirely sure. This is the sort of town centre. This is the petrol station and stuff behind, where for me it's just the easiest place to get water and stuff. So it's hot. It's very early in the morning. What time is it? It is 9:30, and it is already baking hot. Little Scottish boy sweating away, so I'm gonna try, and the next town is 69 kilometers away, so I've got enough water. I should be able to just get my head down and cycle straight to there. Everyone is saying Concepcion is bonito and it's everything I need and it's amazing. So the quicker I can get there, then the quicker I can, the more time I can spend having a look around this afternoon, maybe have a proper meal. So it'd also be quite nice to have a shower, because I am stinking after yesterday's off-road biking and then rain and then camping and everything. So feeling a bit horrible. But this is Yabi Yao. So I've made it about just shy of 100 kilometers today, and my right leg is giving me massive problems. Got some issue coming down the inside here when I'm pushing down, and I think it's because yesterday I was off-road moving the bike a lot like this, and I just tweaked something at some point. So I'm just trying to ease it all up. I'm just trying to get to Concepcion tonight. It's 1 o'clock. It gives me 4 hours to get there, 5 hours to get there. So it's going to be a bit of a push. So I really need to get my stuff together. And like normally 3 hours I'll be there. I think it's probably going to take me 4. So I just need to really let myself take it easy. So I've made it to Concepcion. It's very windy here. It's been a long day, like time-wise I'm spot on, but wait a minute. It's been a long day because I've got my leg injury. I managed to get the 140 kilometers done, and this is Concepcion. I'm coming into Concepcion. Oh, and this is Concepcion. I'm staying at Hotel Victoria, which you can see there. It had a nice vibe to it. As I walked past, it looked all nice and colonial, and I asked how much it would cost. £7 with breakfast, so I think I won't break any banks. But this is, you can see the old kind of architecture here of the town, the old churches. The actual town seems to be quite run down, as is most things seem to be in Paraguay, but you can see all the old churches around. It's got a very chilled, nice environment, people waving, kids giving me the cheer as I cycle past, so I'm really glad I got here early. So I'm in Concepcion, which is middle north of Paraguay, and I'm about to venture west. From looking at the map, the west part of Paraguay looks a lot less populated than the part. Today I want to try and do 150 kilometers. So I just need to get all this cleaned up, packed up, and I want to be out of here in 15 minutes. It is 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm sweating so badly already. It's 24, 25 degrees outside. It's just going to get hotter as the day goes on. I clean my clothes every night, and then as soon as I put them on in the morning, they just drench through. This is the uncomfortable part of travelling in this time of year in this part of the world. So bags are all packed. We're going to load up and hit the road. Beach volleyball in a landlocked country. Beach volleyball seems to be the sport of choice. You see hundreds of them down the side of the highway with big, well set up, well established beach volleyball courts. Yet to actually see anyone play, but they're there and they are just waiting to be used. Now I am on top of the bridge crossing the River Paraguay at Concepcion. There's a bit of wind, I hope that doesn't affect the filming. This is Concepcion here, and as you can see, in all directions, it is absolutely flat. I am probably at the highest point of anywhere I can see in a 360 degree thing, which leads me to think that cycling today may be a little bit boring. You don't see very much life, and then you get to water. Like this little river here, and it's going to be very difficult to point things out because of the camouflage, but there are just birds everywhere, huge big birds flying up, sitting over there on the pole, and they're all gathered around this pond, and there's fish jumping in here, so this is where they're all coming to feed. There's eagles, river birds, parrots flying over. It's an amazing array of wildlife in this one little patch. To see animals dead like this, but it gives me an indication of what animals I'm potentially up against. I'm being chased by a Rottweiler. There's a Rottweiler right behind me chasing me on my bike. Look at that! He was running down the road the opposite way. He looked at me and went, "I'm gonna chase you," and he just turned around and started running after me.
Un vaso, sí, no hay problema.
Un vaso de
gaseosa.
Ok, ¿cuánto cuesta?
4.000.
4.000.
Ah,
Is that un grande?
grande.
Okay, grande. So I'm just at the stop. That's dog meat hanging up. This is around. It's all the stuff you can get. Hola. That is actually a dog skinned to be eaten, which is going to make me think very carefully about eating meat for the rest of this trip. To think that I am on the main road between two of the largest cities in Paraguay. This is the only way to get from Asunción to Concepcion, and one, there's no traffic at all, like there's the occasional lorry, pickup truck, motorbike, but there isn't even a proper tarmac road. Just get these almighty shower storms that just come down on you just for a few minutes, drench you, and then the road is full of this puddle that goes along there. The only surreal thing is the water is boiling, so it's basically like cycling through hot water, because the roads are so hot that the water just heats up immediately. It creates all this humidity, and I'm gonna get splashed to shit. It's getting a little bit unbearable today. Been on the road for 130 kilometers. It is well above 30 degrees, 35 degrees, and there's no shade at all on the road to be able to pull over in. And I'm just pedaling away. Got another 20 kilometers to go, and I'm just frying. Is the exciting town of Pozo, which is 145 kilometers up from Concepcion towards Bolivia. It's just starting to rain. I think it might be a bit of a storm on its way, and this is what it looks like. Donkey over there. I think that's the police and police and hospital there. This is the supermarket, and these are the houses. This is what it looks like. Paraguayan supermarket. As you can see, lots of fizzy drinks. They like their fizzy drinks, and this is the kind of normal food stuff. Lots of biscuits, and then your usual flours, sauces, all that kind of stuff. And this is basically what you get in all shops. They love their mate here, so there's a lot of mate, which is it's very early in the morning. It's about 6:15, 6:30, and the sun is just rising, and I'm heading north towards the Chaco region. From here, I think it's just going to get brutally hot. It's going to be a very slow incline all day, much as it was yesterday. So this is just going to be brutal, head down. I've got up early to try and knock out as much today as possible. I want to try and be slightly more clever. Cycle, rest, cycle, rest, cycle, rest. I've been getting into this routine of just getting out and hammering 140k. I want to try and hammer 180k now, so I need to add on an extra 2 hours of cycling. So by getting up earlier and pushing myself and then stopping, I should be able to increase that if the body holds up, and if I can get the food. Where I was just staying, there was no breakfast, so I just need to go and buy some food, and I need to get on the road as soon as possible. And I think this is I don't think it's going to get dodgy, but it's going to get pretty rustic. Just had a very funny run-in with two soldiers who moved my bike and then sat watching me to see how long it would take me to realise that they'd moved my bike, and then they both just pissed themselves with laughter. So this is me leaving Pozo, and then I will be on my way north to where everyone is telling me is going to be very hot, very deserted, and very mosquito infested. Tire was a little bit flat, so I just stopped to this little gomberia you can see behind, and just managed to get a little bit of air put in it, which hopefully will make a more comfortable ride going forward. That is that's a big ass snake. I hope none of them go anywhere near me. That is huge, huge snake. I guess it's like a hub in the middle of this farming part of Paraguay. So have a nice restaurant, a petrol station, a supermarket, an appliance store, and then there's nothing for 60 kilometers, 70 kilometers that way, and there is nothing for now, I think 82 kilometers to the next place. And that's it for the rest of the day. It's just starting to get really hot, so this is going to be a really hot stage. Here I'm in the Chaco in Paraguay, and I don't want to get in these guys' ways, but this is them rounding out the cattle on the horses. Beautiful horses. And they're just taking the cattle along, dodging all the lorries. And we're with the dogs at the back and the horses just coming along with the cows. This is the kind of stuff. Oh, this is so much fun. I'll wait until the next lorry comes along. Hello, doggy. Just watching the guys do their stuff. They're keeping these guys completely herd pretty much together. You get the old one and that one running off to the right. As soon as one breaks free, then two or three seem to go. There we go, herding them down. This is them coming off the road and going off to their next pasture, and will mean that I am off on my way to Bolivia. Ciao! Ciao, señor! Ciao! So I'm in the middle of the Chaco at the moment and managed to find a tree with a bit of shade under it. It is excruciatingly hot out there, but once you're pedaling it's actually alright. Sandwich. Just enjoying a service station sandwich and try and get some energy up for the next slog. It is still probably 30 degrees outside. I'm in a tent, which is I've got because it's small, compact, but it's not designed for these temperatures. So sitting in here is like a sweat house. And look, I'm cursing it now, but I think when I get to the top of the Andes, I'm going to be in love with it because I need to be kept warm. So it's that, having something that's adaptable both ways. Also, the number of mosquitoes that are in here is ridiculous. I have to either keep it completely locked up and then just sweat all night, or I leave it slightly open and get covered in mosquitoes and bitten. And it is literally, I'm just sweating. It's horrible. So this is where I camped last night down there. Wasn't the most rested night's sleep. At about 11 o'clock, a dog attacked my tent, purely to steal my rubbish. But it was tent pegged to my tent, so I didn't cause any litter, and he just grabbed it and ran and pulled my tent. And after that, I spent most of the night with a bike pedal tool in my hand, waiting for someone to come. So it wasn't the most rested night. 20 kilometers from where I camped in sweaty horribleness is the Hotel Touring, which has Wi-Fi, a swimming pool and everything like that. Damn! First sign for Bolivia, 326 kilometers, so just over 2 days away. That's a nice sign to get. The only problem is I know that there's not very much for the next 326 kilometers, but it's just open land and mosquitoes and 35-degree heat and nothingness. I'm at the last city before the border in Bolivia. This is what it looks like. Very Wild West-esque. After not much sleep last night, severe sunburn on my back, strong winds. I could come up with excuses forever. I'm trying to find somewhere to kit tonight. It is crazy how many mosquitoes there are. Like, there's no way you'll be able to pick them up on this camera, but I can see probably 30, 40, 50 mosquitoes just in my bedroom, just flying around. And this is in a building, not out in the Chaco where I'm going to be staying tomorrow night. But this is just insane. So just while this donkey and horse play fight together, I'm preparing for my push into the Chaco northern region. You keep hearing different things. Everyone's like, oh, you can't get any water, and then the next person's like, yeah, you can get lots of water, you get it here, here and here. And it's like all these different kind of conflicting arguments about what you can and can't get ahead. So look at these guys playing. 355 kilometers to Villamontes in Bolivia, and that is the pace I've been going, 2.5 days. If I can do it in 2 days, that would be awesome, but we will see. The donkey, I think, has won. He just pushed over the horse. The horse is not happy. The horse is now chasing donkey away. Donkey! I really wish they'd make up their mind whether we're going to have a road or not have a road, because it just keeps disappearing, and then it comes back, and then it disappears, and then it comes back for absolutely no rhyme or reason. And there goes my water. Just trying to navigate a semi-safe path is proving interesting. To add to that, if you dare stop for a second, the Mozzie community rally around and feast on your blood. So you just get eaten alive. As this is called the Ruta Militaire. I'm guessing the military don't need smooth roads. They got tanks and 4x4s. But it's just it's gonna be slow going. It's so deserted. I'm just sitting down having my snack on the road, because there is nothing as far as you can see that way, and nothing as far as you can see that way. No noise but birds. Absolutely remarkable. This is completely and utterly deserted and surreal just to be sitting having lunch like this, but it's quite refreshing. Been dodging lorries for so long, and there don't seem to be any mosquitoes either, which is good. I have suffered a bit of a mishap. The pannier at the back, sorry, it's really difficult to hold the bike. The pannier at the back has lost one of its connectors that keeps it onto the from here. So that's what attaches it onto here. Luckily I've got a bungee cord which I can strap up and get that onto there. So what I'm doing now is I'm riding along trying to find other bungee cords that have fallen off lorries, because lorries seem to use lots of bungee cords. I'm going to try and come up with a way of securing that pannier better for the remainder of this trip, which is about 1,500 kilometers. Cycled about 187 kilometers today, which brings me close to the Bolivian border, which is about 40-50 kilometers that way. I've got about 180 kilometers to the first town in Bolivia, and my problem is I have no money in Bolivia, no dollars. So when I get to Bolivia, I need to try and get to that town. So I think I've put in enough distance today to be able to get there. The reason I'm looking around a bit is trying to find somewhere to camp around here is very difficult. Basically one big long road which is slightly raised, both sides of the road are flooded, so trying to find camping places that are slightly hidden away are difficult. I found this, what must have been a quarry, which is just set off the road. The road's just up there, and there is a farm just over here, which I don't want to alert them to my presence. So I'm just setting up camp here. The mosquito situation's pretty bad, so I'm just gonna 6 o'clock, I'm gonna get in, cook my dinner, go to bed. Trying to be as inconspicuous as possible, just getting straight on to getting my food cooked, because then I can just food cook, get in, go to sleep, lights out. It should be dark in about an hour, so fingers crossed this is all going to work out. Just breaking camp in my quarry, my last day in Paraguay, and amazing, slept like a log. Might be something to do with the 185 kilometers yesterday, or just the tranquility of being out here in the middle of nowhere, birds singing all night. You start playing guess, like what's that noise that's making, what's that animal that's making that noise? But I slept from like 9 o'clock till 5:30 this morning. Bang. Just packing up now. I've got porridge and coffee on the go, just trying to get everything wrapped up. I want to get on the road as like the next 15 minutes if possible. 14 kilometers left of Paraguay, so I'm coming to the end of this stage of my expedition. I didn't know very much about Paraguay when I arrived here, and I really wanted to find out a little bit more about it, but what I've learned very little, because so much of the country is just complete nothing. There's nothing there. There's just long open roads. It's either incredibly hot or incredibly humid. The roads sometimes exist or they don't exist, and then the towns, there's very little to actually be able to converse with people. The only people I've been able to really speak to are people in restaurants working, and they don't really seem to, they want to know about our country more than allowing me to learn about their country. It's sad, but it's great to see, like from a natural point of view, this is a beautiful country. It is very flat. The national park Cerro Cora, when I first arrived in Punta Pura in the northeast of the country, is stunningly beautiful. And then you hit the Chaco, and this is part of the Chaco, and it's the wildlife, the birds here are just phenomenal. I've seen, there's different birds every single day, and they're just countless of them. The people have been amazingly kind. 14 kilometers left to go, and learnt very little, but enjoyed it very much. So I'm at the border with Bolivia, where you're not allowed to film, but hey, I've got to fill in this form to get me in. I don't think very many people cross here. There's no one here apart from me. Anyway, fill in